Next on our list of shading is the clear coat shading model. Now this is a useful thing for automotive rendering or car paint shaders. Effectively what you have is a surface, lower down surface material, and then a separate layer on top here in the clear coat. If we just disable this for a second. So we have one set of controls for the sort of the surface, the underneath. Here we have just a checkerboard grey texture and then a roughness, and we can set that to be shiny or smooth or whatever it is we want. And then we can have a second set of values on top. And so if I have a look here, there's a bit of normal information. If we do debug normal somewhere, is it called debug normal? It's called debug default normal. Default detail normal, and that lines up here, and we can see we get our normal information. If we then add the clear coat to this, we get a second layer on top, and so we can have a shininess on top that's different to the shininess underneath. Now in this case, the normal here is being applied to this surface as a whole. If I change that back to be either a flat surface, we can also enable this clear coat bottom layer. It needs to be enabled in the project settings. So if we go edit, project settings, settings, clear coat, enable clear coat second normal. Says it here, high quality feature that is expensive, so careful using this, but it allows us to have a separate normal map for the material underneath. So then we can just access this by adding a custom output. So here we have the default outputs. Occasionally in materials we need to add a second or additional outputs, and if I plug in a flat normal, what we get is what we had before. Effectively, it's nothing detailed. But if I plug in this normal, we can get a normal response to light underneath a flat coating on top. So quite a complex shader. If I change to detail lighting, you can see here we're getting lighting information here from the normals underneath, and then there's also a sort of reflective layer on top that comes from the clear coat. So the clear coat input just decides where you want clear coat on or off. If I put this to 0, it's not going to have any clear coat effect. And then the clear coat roughness defines how shiny or matte the surface is. But when it really comes into its own is where you add the second normal. And so we've got a normal for the surface underneath, and then a smooth normal or potentially a bumpy normal. If I do that one, so now it's like it's got a lumpy layer of kind of, what's the word, kind of clear acrylic or something on top that hasn't dried flat, and we're getting this kind of effect here. It is a bit expensive, especially adding the second normal. I mean, it's not too bad in terms of the numbers here, but it's yeah, definitely has some additional costs. But this kind of two-layered rendering in the same material is what the clear coat shader is doing for us.